Hi, it's Heather with another installment of R-Rated Reviews. And this one's going to be a little bit of it's a follow-up review because I was talking about how the unboxing and maiden everything first time uses sometimes need a good follow-up once you get well-versed with using a product and learning the ins and outs of it. And so this is going to be a follow-up and a slight, I don't want to say DIY because I'm in no position to show anyone how to do what I just did. But this is about the Halo, the Halo hair extensions. So, here's my box. Here's my box. There, my box. Here's the Halo box. I bought Halo, I'm going to say almost a year and a half, a little over a year ago. And they're very customized, but they're really only customized to a certain degree. They match up your color as closely as they can. You pick a length that you want. There's short, medium length, longer medium, and then really long. And the only reason why I even wanted a Halo was because when I go to work, I kept tying my hair up in, putting it up in a bun or a ponytail, and at my neck and my crown, my hair kept breaking. And even though I was using these non-break hair elastics, and it's gotten better, but I've started French braiding it instead because it has even less breakage. So when I got the Halo, I just wanted it to be a little bit thicker and a little bit longer while my hair was growing out. And because if the sun was shining behind me, everything was good. So you got to about here, and you could see it was thinner because that's where it broke or had grown out. The Halo we picked was really close, and you can dye and color them. You just can't bleach them, and you can curl them and do all kinds of stuff with them. The thing was, she thinned it out for me a little bit when I first went in after we ordered it. It came in for my fitting or whatever and how to use it. And I'm like, it's so thick. I'm like, my hair's not that thick. And it's supposed to blend. Okay, I know I got the arguments and the comments about how it's okay to not be 100% natural if you're going out. But the whole point is, I didn't want to be a walking billboard that said, I have a hairpiece in or something like that. And I could feel it. It was very weighty. I got used to it, but it was weighty. She thinned it a little bit with those razor scissors. Well, I wore it tonight. I went out to dinner and by myself. And then I stopped off at this local bar and I sat down at a booth for 2.5 hours and wrote proposals and invoices to get caught up. And I had such a headache. And I couldn't figure out why. It was in the back of my head. Because I don't get headaches. I'll get one every couple of years. One headache, up here. I don't get headaches. I give them. It was back here. And it wasn't until I got home that I realized it was because this thing was sitting there and it was so heavy. So I have a kit that I bought from Temu, and it's a hair cutting kit. Comes with little clips, and it's got regular scissors. It's got a razor comb. Don't dare touch that. And it has the razor scissors that thin hair, these. So it'll just take, a little bit out. I felt like I live alone. I'm an adult. I paid for this. And I felt like if I got caught, I was going to get yelled at like cutting a doll's hair. I could not take the weight and the thickness of the Halo anymore. So when I say it's customized with the length that you want and the color that you want. But not everyone has the same hair texture and hair thickness. And to me, that's the part that didn't feel real about it. It was a constant reminder, the weight of this thing. So, and I'll show you how much I think I took half. I started out with just taking this much out. I'm combing it out. Don't get me wrong, so it's a wad, so it's gonna, and then I'm like, it looked better. It felt better. And the more I took out, the more I could find sections that just felt so thick that I took more. And then I took more. This is a big one. And I took more. I probably took a third. At least a third. Maybe half. I don't think it was quite half. I took a lot of fucking hair. This is solid. And then once I put it back on, my hair blended so much better because it was more like my hair. I actually have it in, and my hair's not curled. I combed it. You can run your fingers through it. I feel like there's a much better chance that if someone came up and touched my hair, it wouldn't come out. It's blended probably better than it ever has been before. I curled it separately up on a hanger. I hang it from a clip hanger, comb it and I'm constantly curling it. But it was so thick that the curls weren't ever really the same as my own hair. My hair were more like ringlets and this thing was more like a spinny. And the curls didn't always blend with my hair. And I would try to recurl it together and it didn't work. But I have it in, and the reason I'm happy about it is because my hair's a little lighter this year, and the only thing you can't do with them is bleach them. The halo is a little bit darker, and the thicker it was, the more obvious those curls that were the curls were separate from my curls. So the more I felt like you could see it. So I combed it out, and I'll show you where I cut it. But before I took it off, I wanted to show you the things that they didn't tell me when I first got it. I did do a quick demo in the first video. One of the most important things you have to do, aside from putting it in right, is making sure that you comb the line out. Because if you don't, it's going to look like you have a headband across your head. And I actually go underneath and I comb over the sides so that there's no definitive line. And I'll take it off and put it back on and show you that line. But it's all smoothed out so that it's blended with my hair. But I think I found a trick. Because they tell you when you're putting it on that you pull the front part out. And then you take your fingers and you run a halo around your head. But there's more to it than that. You don't just stick... I always had different amounts of hair under and over it and trying to figure out what worked. And I always found that I wanted to have more of my hair over it because if I went back to reach for it, I didn't want to feel it with my hand. I wanted to feel my hair. And then the halo, I still had my hair underneath it and the halo was sort of in the middle, like this. And it looks like my hair's been highlighted. When I hold it up to the light, you can see where I cut it. But I also cut it up here in the middle, like not layers necessarily, but I thinned it in different spots because when I used that razor scissor, I didn't want to have these chunks of like short hairs running across at the band. I had to avoid that. The trick that I haven't tried yet, that I think is something that they should tell you when you're putting it on for the most natural feel, is that when I go back here and I'm looking to make sure that it's sitting well and my hair's over it, I feel like this part, see where the band here is? It's here. I feel like wherever this naturally lands on your head, whether it's up here, or down here, I feel like your own hair should be at that band. I feel like if they teach you anything, when you put your fingers around, it should be that you put your fingers around where the band is. Because as I pull more of my own hair over the top of it, it tends to blend better. And it looks even more natural. And I haven't tried this, so when I'm done, it's going to either make a liar out of me or it's going to confirm what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back and blend. So all I did was pull more of my hair over the top of the band so that the band is laying at the same spot where that row of my own hair is. And I don't know if I did the whole thing correctly, but this needs to come over so that my hairline matches the band's hairline. I still have my own hair underneath it, but less because it tends to sit lower on my head, or that's maybe where it sits on everyone's head. I don't know, but I know that the straps are there's adjustable spots where you can put the hooks. So I think it feels better, but now I feel like a little bit of a bump. So I want to comb out my own hair. At this point, I don't feel like I'm wearing it. I had a headache, and it's heavy. When you're holding it, it's heavy. There was more hair in half of the halo extensions than I felt like I had on my whole head. I have long hair, and I have a lot of hair, but I don't have thick hair. And to have thin hair with thinner hair blended, or trying to be blended with thicker hair, wasn't working. The curls never seemed to intertwine. And I think that they should customize the halos that much more, where they're not just matching the length that you want and the color of your hair to match. They should match the thickness. They can't quite match the texture because they're going to give you really good quality hair. And I even said to the girl, I'm like, it's shiny and it looks really good. Can you like make it dirty and dull and like put some gray streaks in it? Like it doesn't look, it looks like gorgeous hair. And if you put gorgeous hair mixed in with mine, you're going to see it. And you got to dull that shit up and make it look, and she's like, no. Well, now you can't tell. So I'm going to take it out and show you where I cut it And there are a couple of spots that look a little chunky, but you can't tell. Not in here. And then I'm going to show you how to put it back on where you just... I don't want to constantly have to keep doing this all night to try to get my hair to blend with the Halo's hair. And that was always going to happen because it was so thick and my hair wasn't. But before I take it out, I'm going to try to curl it a few pieces with my hair and the Halo hair and see if now that it's thinner, if that hair will curl with mine and blend. Because I had two styles of curls in two different textures. And to me, I'm a detail-oriented person. It was obvious to me. I mean, not blatantly, but if you knew, you'd be like, oh, that girl's got extensions. And it's okay. But if you're going to put them in, don't you want them to look good? And if someone can walk up to you and say, that girl's got extensions, they don't look good. So I think the Halo people, so this is darker and lighter. The darker hair is the Halo. And so I think the Halo people, if they do that, they could have given me hair extensions with just about half the fucking hair. So maybe instead of $400, I'm not asking you to cut the price to $200. But if you don't need that much natural hair to make one, based on the thickness, they do charge you based on length, which I kind of think is funny because the length is the same amount of hair, just shorter. But if you got thinner extensions, it would be less hair. They could have made two Halos out of what they gave me. I don't need half price, but maybe $300. So let's see. Okay, that is a blended curl. I have more hope for this thing now. I would actually wear it more often if I didn't feel like it looked, not that it looks fake. It doesn't. It's fantastic and I love it. But there were just these little minor differences in it that were driving me nuts. Let me try underneath here. And now I feel like, and when I was looking at it to see if it was blended, that's when I discovered that I wanted more of my hair over the band. And I think it's a good thing to try is figure out, get an estimate, because it's going to sit in just about the same spot on your head anytime you wear it. Get a feel for when you're going to wear it, where it normally lands, get used to it. And then before you put it on, take a few tries, but before you put it on, make your halo, like with your fingers, in the area where you think it's going to land. And maybe those are the instructions, but nobody told me that. No one gave me that instruction. And I haven't seen any videos that say that. It was always just a matter of go around the crown and make a halo. Because truthfully, a halo would be like up here. It really should go down wherever it is that it lands on you. At least in my opinion, based on my using it enough at this point. So that looks like one type of hair in one curl because the Halo hair isn't so thick now that it's its own ringlet. And it looks blended. And that's my hair with the Halo. I like that much better. So, and the only way you can really see it is for me to take it out and show you. So I'm going to, I want to try one more curl with the section over the back where I want less of my hair so I can get enough hair, not too much that it won't curl. So half and half, that's about half and half. And see how it blends in the back. And you know, it's the two, see that it's darker and lighter? That's the Halo and my hair, because I don't get highlights. I color my own hair. I'm sure that's been screaming out to people, especially if you do hair relations. That girl does her own hair. So, and I wish I had pictures of how badly the difference, how distinct the difference was between the Halo hair and my hair before I cut it. So, and I'm not recommending that you run out and get these razor scissors and try this. It's an expensive product. If you have a friend, or take it to the girl you buy it from, because that's going to be a hairdresser. Have them thin it to match the texture and consistency and thickness of your hair for the best blending. It doesn't mean it's not going to give you the coverage and the hair that you want. It's still twice the fucking hair. And everyone's is going to be different because everyone's hair thickness is different. So, where are you? When you can't find it, it's pretty damn good. Where the hell is it? Hold on. There you are. Okay. Okay. So, that's my hair. This is my hair without the halo. Because I wanted to explain why. Like, my hair, I don't have great hair. And it's long. Hold on. So I have the length. And it's actually grown out quite a bit. It's that at the time, the light was shining through it and up here was fine. When I got down here, there was almost a line in photos where if the sun was shining or the light came through, it was almost like I had extensions because my hair was all solid here. And then from here to the bottom, you could see through it. It was because the hair was thinner because it had broken either at the neck or up at the crown and either grew in or had broken there from like being pulled up, it would snap there. So I don't have it snapping so much anymore because I'm doing loose braids. I have a lot of hair, but it's not thick. When I do this, the halo was like, that was this. There was just so much hair. It served its purpose, and I didn't wear it as much as I could have. I'm disappointed that I didn't discover this sooner because in the year and a half almost that I've had it, I probably wore a dozen or less times. And most of those were if I was on vacation and I had the time to fuck with it and curl it so many times to get it to blend. Now that it's grown out, my hair's gotten longer and I'm happier with it. So now I'd be more inclined to wear it just to give me thicker hair, like more luxurious hair. Gives you that oomph. So this is now, there's a lot less hair in here. It's half the fucking weight that it was. I mean, really. So let me clip this and show it to you. I use a skirt hanger. Now you can see the difference. This matched my color when I first got it. It's a pretty significant difference at this point, but you can't bleach it. There's a lot less hair, but that's plenty of hair. This feels, if I go like this, and I'm like, okay, that feels this. You saw how much I took out. So I'm going to hold this up to the light. So do you see? A couple of spots are a little choppy. You see that cut off? This cut off, that one. I did them throughout though. There's a couple over here. What I did was I took the comb that they give you and I carefully took a very thin top layer, and I did both sides. I flipped it over. So I took this top layer and I put it there. I took the middle section like that and left the back section. So I thinned it in the middle so I didn't have short pieces sticking out. I'll even do this one. I mean, I don't really want to take much more off, but I gave it a little, and I did a few different, I didn't go all the way through it. Some of them I did. That one I did like a little here, a little on the other side, and then I moved it down so that it's not necessarily layers, but kind of. And then I combed it out. So this, now you'll know how much I took out. That is one cut. I think of those fucking wads. I took a lot of hair out of this thing, and I feel like it looks better. And I just did that throughout the entire piece. Now, it doesn't look like there's any less hair on it. It feels, to someone looking at it like, she took so much off. This matches my hair. With all that hair at the band, it went straight down and it was consistently thick hair because it was healthy. But it was so thick, I had a fucking headache. And I went all the way to the base on a couple of them so that it wasn't super thick at the band. And then I didn't want it really thick here and then thinner because then it would cause a lump in my head. Do you see? Some of them are all the way up. Some of them are a little lower. Some come even lower here. And then when I was going through the middle, I took very little out of the middle. Because if I took too much, that was just tiny little bits to blend it. If I took too much out of the middle and not the top, I was going to wind up with the same see-through hair at the bottom because the bottom would have been cut thinner and the top would be thick. And that was what I was trying to hide to begin with. I only did that once or twice sporadically just so that it was blended. It wasn't all missing from the same spot. And you know what? I might even have a few straggler pieces now. I'm like, yay, bring it. It looks more real. So, and it's light. So much lighter. This feels like my hair. It feels real. I mean, it's real hair. It felt fake to me before. It doesn't feel so fake now. So now I'll put it back on and we'll see what I was talking about with the whole halo where you put your fingers. Let me add this to the wad in the trash. So the instructions that I had gotten, I got very little instructions. I sat with the girl for maybe half an hour, and when it came in, she put it in, took it out, and then I put it in, and that was it. The whole combing thing never even came up in conversation until I went to the Halo website, and there was a demonstration on the Halo website that said it's really important to comb out. Now this is, she said to pull these pieces, and then from here, she told me that you go like this, like just the top, and you make your halo crown, and you clip it up. But if I were to do that, then that means all of this hair, all of this, is going to go under the halo, and that might be fine for you. But then that means you have thinner hair over the halo, which is what helps hide it. So mine falls around here. And so instead of keeping my halo up here, I'm going to try to bring that in, and I'll see where it leaves me. Because this feels like a lot, but that's because the first time I had it on, I did a little bit and I pulled it over when I was doing the video. Now this might not be enough underneath it at this point, but it's still going to blend with the halo. So I'm going to clip this up and see where it falls. And I told you, this would be trial and error. I haven't done it this way with that low of my own little halo. So it's going to be trial and error until I get comfortable with where I think my halo is going to land. And then put this over here. And then they say to just let it fall naturally. This is the most important spot. You want it to hold here because this is going to stay. This is where you want it comfortably. Once it lands there and you know it belongs there, let this fall naturally where it may. And now, what is this? Is that my hair? That is my hair. It's falling out of the clip. Perfect. So now my hair comes out of the clip. I still have my own hair underneath it, but I have more of my own hair over it. Oop, something stuck here. That might be too much. All right, I went below the band. See, look, I went below the band. This is my trial and error. So I have to pull this back underneath if I can. Okay, I did. I got that. Let's see. It didn't happen on the other side, but I think it happened in the middle a little bit. Oh, I think I'm good. Now, the line that they tell you is so important to comb out. See it? I've seen this out and didn't know what it was. The girl I bought it from never even mentioned this. The Halo website has a video demonstration. When you comb it, you blend it, but I go underneath and blend this part too. So if you're one of those people that put your hands in your hair like I do, I may put my hands in my hair, and I don't want it to either come undone or show by accident. So that, and now I don't mind combing it out so much, because previously if I combed it out, I was losing curls. Ah, hang on. I'd be some mascara in my eye. So see how this is blended? And this is not? So you have to comb this so that you blend the hair that goes over and under the fishing wire. And like this is what you cut. You don't want this. It looks like shit. So I'm going to comb this, get my hair out of that loop, and blend it. How much better that looks. And then this goes down. And that, you can't tell. You can't tell. And then the halo is blended. And I hated spending all that time curling my hair and curling the halo hair separately. You can't see it. At least, well, I can't see it. And that combing is really important. And now here's the bag. And it's not done. It's not styled. So this would, to me, this would be the place that would be most noticeable is if it's not styled and curled, hiding it. You just have straight hair hanging. That to me would be when it's the most obvious. And I feel like it still just looks like it's my hair. I just have a little bit more of it. It just looks, now it looks to me like I have great hair or I have good hair. Not to the point where that girl came up and was like, your hair is gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, it's fake. It was to me, it was too much before. It's so customized now. It's customized for me. It doesn't look like I'm wearing it. But I still have more hair to work with, a little more weight, no headache. You can't feel it. I can barely feel it. Somebody could come up and put their hands in my hair. I'd kill them if they did. But you ever have someone come up and say, oh, your hair's gorgeous, and start touching it? I mean, what happens if somebody comes up and touches it, like shakes it loose or something? Because it's fucking 4 pounds. It is much lighter when I'm holding it. I'm like, woof. But if it didn't look better and feel better on, I'd be like, don't take too much off. If you have thicker hair and it's just short, then yeah, keep it thick. Or have somebody do it for you. But my point is, they're expensive, they're good quality, and they're worth it. I know they're worth it. I spent $400 on it. My cheap frugal bitch ass. So, and I think it was worth it. But if it were more customized and it had less hair, they could make 2 of these, and it might even cost less. Don't even have it cost less. People are already paying $400 for it. It should be that much more customized. There should be choices where you don't just choose the length and the color and choose, A, B, C, or whatever. There should be like another option where it's like really thick, medium, thinner. I love it now. I think I would wear it more now. It's less work to put it on because there's less blending and less shit to do with it. And and now I can curl my hair. Now this is the halo hair. And I'm going to curl one more right here. Now I can curl it once together and it will actually blend. But that other hair was so fucking thick. I was sectioning the hair to curl it in 2 rows, front and back, because it was thick. When I was showing you how I separated the hair and then from the front and the back and just thinned out the middle, I was separating front and back into 2 sections so that I could curl the front and the back. That's how thick the hair was. I mean, and I'm not complaining to say it was too good a quality. You gave us too much. It's great. Just think that it needed to be more customized, at least for me. And if you run into the same issue, or if you feel the same way, or you're having the same feelings about it, that might be the answer. Oh. I was really bothered tonight when I first put it on because I curled it like a week ago and then didn't wear it. So it was just sitting on the hanger, and it was the spirals. It was so heavy. The spirals were starting to come out. And I wasn't curling the whole thing again. By the time I put it in my hair had these kind of nice ringlet curls, and the halo hair was more like a twist. And it didn't blend. And when you put your fingers through it, it would separate. Like the curls would come out the way they should, and mine would too. But they were clearly 2 different sets of curls that didn't blend. All right. All right, there's that. And then let me just curl this one on the top so that I have one whole spot. And fuck it, that piece doesn't belong in there, but it should have gone in with the other one and it didn't. So I have one little extra piece in there just for demonstration purposes. I think this is all my hair. Because the halo hair is underneath here. Right. Now, mix it with the halo hair. And it's blended together. It looks like the same hair. It's not 2 separate curls where there's a halo curl here and my curl here. They blended because the texture is closer and similar. Oh, I'll wear this so much more now. Absolutely. You can. I wish I had discovered this sooner, but I play around with stuff. And that's why I was always, if you're going to unbox, yeah, I'll show you how it is outside when it first comes out of the box and you get to learn how to use it. But now that I found these tips and tricks with it and the ins and outs of it, I got to come back and tell you because you need to know too. I love it. If you guys have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and share. And have a great night.